Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, everyone.
We're in Queen Mary's Rose Garden.
Well, we're on our own private little island. We've been here many times before. It's so beautiful.
Yeah, very beautiful.
And,
So, we've only got 2 more verses left of this chapter. And we finished chapter 6.
Haribol.
So it's Canto 3, chapter 6, text 38, which is creation of the universal form.
Yeah.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Alright, text 38. O my son, the original poet Brahma, after mature meditation for 1,000 celestial years, could know only that the glories of the Supreme Soul are inconceivable. Purport. There are some froggish philosophers who want to know the Supreme Soul by means of philosophy and mental speculation. And when the devotees who are to some extent in knowledge of the Supreme Lord admit that the glories of the Lord are inestimable or inconceivable, the froggish philosophers adversely criticize them. These philosophers, like the frog in the well, who try to estimate the measurement of the specific ocean, like to take trouble over fruitless mental speculation instead of taking instructions from devotees like the original poet, namely Brahma. Lord Brahma underwent a severe type of meditation for 1,000 celestial years, yet he said that the glories of the Lord are inconceivable. Therefore, what can the froggish philosophers hope to gain from their mental speculations?
So again, Prabhupada is speaking about the frog analogy, frog in the well, frog philosopher in the well mentality. It is said in the Brahma Samhita that the mental speculator may fly through the sky of speculation with the velocity of the mind or the wind of thousands of millions of years, and still he will find it inconceivable. The devotees, however, do not waste time in such vain searching after knowledge of the Supreme, but they submissively hear the glories of the Lord from bona fide devotees. Thus, they transcendentally enjoy the process of hearing and chanting. The Lord approves of the devotional activities of the devotees as Mahatmas, and he says, Mahatmanas tu mam partha dayavim prakritam ashritaha bhajantananya manaso gyantva bhuta dim abhyayam satatam kirtayanto mam yatantas chadridavrataha namasyantascha mam bhaktya nitya yukta upasate. Bhagavad Gita 9:13 through 14. The pure devotees of the Lord take shelter of the Pada Prakriti, the internal potency of the Lord, called Lakshmi Devi, Sita Devi, Srimati Radharani, or Srimati Rukmini Devi, and thus they become actual Mahatmas, or great souls. Mahatmas are not fond of indulging in mental speculations, but they actually take to the devotional service of the Lord without the slightest deviation. Devotional service is manifested by the primary process of hearing and chanting about the activities of the Lord. This transcendental method practiced by the Mahatmas gives them sufficient knowledge of the Lord, because if the Lord can at all be known to some extent, it is only through the means of devotional service and no other way. One may go on speculating and waste the valuable time of his human life, but that will not help anyone to enter into the precincts of the Lord. The Mahatmas, however, are not concerned with knowing the Lord by mental speculation, because they enjoy hearing about his glorious activities and his transcendental dealings with his devotees or with the demons. The devotees take pleasure in both and are happy in this life and the life after. Any thoughts?
You have to become absorbed in the Lord.
In the Lord's pastimes, yeah. Serving the Lord directly, deity worship, chanting his holy name, hearing his pastimes, smaran, remembering the Lord, padasevanam, archanam, as we said, vandanam, prayers and praying to the Lord, vandanam. And then I just read somewhere, maybe it was in one of these purports or somewhere else, that later the other two, dasyam, sakyam and atmanivedanam, they come later. To become friends with the Lord and complete surrender, that comes later. I think it must be in the 4th canto I was listening to the other day, that maybe it's Sanatan Kumar, he explains that there are 7 processes of devotional service, and then Prithu Maharaj, he inquires, why only 7? I thought there were 9. And he says, yes, the first 7 are there, but then the last 2, they come later. Atmanivedanam, complete surrender, and Sakyam, becoming friends with the Lord, that comes after the first 7. So interesting. So I'm rambling on a bit. Not on time.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Yeah, it's true. We have to become absorbed because it's the only buffer for the material miseries. It doesn't matter what you do in life, your job, your ashram service, but to the degree that you're not absorbed, to that degree you're not actually peaceful and happy. It's, as you get older like me, you have that realization. It's true. It's what you got to be absorbed, and all these things Prabhupada said he created just so we can be absorbed, because he said you can't sit down and just chant Hare Krishna. So we got the temples and all this, because you got ants in your pants and you got to do it. Otherwise, that's what all it is, isn't it? Okay.
Text
39. The wonderful potency of the Supreme Personality of Godhead is bewildering even to the jugglers. That potential power is unknown even to the self-sufficient Lord, so it is certainly unknown to others.
Potency.
Purport. The froggish philosophers and mundane wranglers in science and mathematical calculation may not believe in the inconceivable potency of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, but they are sometimes puzzled by the wonderful jugglery of man and nature. Such jugglers and magicians of the mundane world are actually puzzled by the jugglery of the Lord in his transcendental activities, but they try to adjust their bewilderment by saying that it is all mythology. There is, however, nothing impossible or mythological in the Supreme Omnipotent Person. The most wonderful puzzle for the mundane wranglers is that while they remain calculating the length and breadth of the unlimited potency of the Supreme Person, his faithful devotees are set free from the bondage of material engagement simply by appreciating the wonderful jugglery of the Supreme in the practical field. The devotees of the Lord see the wonderful dexterity in everything with which they come in contact in all circumstances of eating, sleeping, working, etc. A small banyan fruit contains thousands of small seeds, and each seed holds the potency of another tree, which again holds the potency of many millions of such fruits as causes and effects. So the trees and seeds engage the devotees in meditation about the activities of the Lord, while the mundane wranglers waste time in dry speculation and mental concoction, which are fruitless in both this life and the next. In spite of their pride in speculation, they can never appreciate the simple potential activities of the banyan tree. Such speculators are poor souls destined to remain in matter perpetually.
Any thoughts?
Yeah, it's so simple like that. Giving an example of just something like a banyan tree in terms of explaining about the potency of a higher power, even if you don't accept there's a God or this. But when you have pride and when you're proud of your so-called intelligence, and you look even beyond the obvious, and you can waste time trying to figure something out and trying to work it out and try to claim, I guess, some intelligence or knowledge, but it's already occurring at your feet. I mean, even at our feet, we can see there's like plants or weeds, whatever, coming out of stone, it looks like, out of the ground. There's life, there's creation, and it wasn't there a few months ago when we were coming here, and it's here now. And the answers are just literally here at your feet, but we could be looking up and trying to speculate for so long because your pride doesn't allow you to see what's so obvious.
Wow. Yeah, I like this term that Prabhupada's using, and jugglers and magicians. So the jugglers are the mental speculators and the magicians are the yogis, because they can manifest things in so many ways. So in this way they become enamored by certain potencies of the Lord, but they really miss the ultimate goal of glorification and falling in love or developing a relationship with the Lord, Okay. So I think, yes, this is the last the last verse here. Text 40. Words, mind, and ego, with their respective controlling deities, have failed to achieve success in knowing the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Therefore, we simply have to offer our respectful obeisances unto Him as a matter of sanity. Purport. The froggish calculator, so back to this frog analogy, used a lot in these last purports. The froggish calculator may raise the objection that if the Absolute is unknowable even by the controlling deities of speech, mind, and ego, namely the Vedas, Brahma, and Rudra, okay, so these are the controlling deities. Speech is the Vedas, the mind is Brahma, and the ego is Rudra. And all the demigods headed by Brihaspati, then why should the devotees be so interested in this unknown object? The answer is that the transcendental ecstasy enjoyed by the devotees in delineating the pastimes of the Lord is certainly unknown to the non-devotees and mental speculators. Unless one relishes transcendental joy, naturally one will come back from his speculations and concocted conclusions, because he will see them as neither factual nor enjoyable. The devotees can at least know that the Absolute Truth is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Vishnu, as the Vedic hymns confirm. Om Tad Vishnu Paramam Param Sarapashanti Suryaha. Bhagavad Gita 15:15 also confirms this fact. Vedaischa Saveraham Eva Vedya. By culture of Vedic knowledge, one must know Lord Krishna and should not falsely speculate on the word aham, or I. Would you like to read the end?
The only method for understanding the Supreme Truth is devotional service, as stated in Bhagavad Gita 18:55. Bhaktiya mam abhijananti yavan yaschasmi tattva. Only by devotional service can one know that the ultimate truth is the personality of Godhead, and that Brahman and Paramatma are only his partial features. This is confirmed in this verse by the great sage Maitreya. With devotion he offers his sincere surrender, Namaha, to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Bhagavate. One has to follow in the footsteps of great sages and devotees like Maitreya and Vidura, Maharaj Parikshit and Sukadev Goswami, and engage in the transcendental devotional service of the Lord if one would know his ultimate feature, which is above Brahman and Paramatma.
Thus end the Bhaktivedanta purports of the 3rd canto, 6th chapter of the Srimad Bhagavatam, entitled Creation of the Universal Form. So next time, I guess we'll start chapter 7.
Yeah.
Further inquiries by Vidura.
Yeah, he's got a lot of inquiries.
Well, this is the goal, as we were discussing yesterday. Tad vidi prani patena pari prashnena sevya, that one has to want to understand the truth and make inquiries.
Yeah.
And that we ask questions, we inquire, we go deeper and deeper and deeper. So like that. So I think now it's going to start to get more into different pastimes. as opposed to the universal creation. But let's see, and hopefully everyone can join in with us and continue to perfect our lives. As we were reading again yesterday, that the perfection of life is the hearing and chanting, hearing and reciting of the Srimad Bhagavatam. Yes?
Yes, indeed. Oh,
It's a bee.
All right.
Okay, everyone. Hare Krishna. Thank you
Hare
very much.
Krishna.
Run to write Srimad Bhagavatam. Ki
Jai.
Jai.
Haribol.
Haribol.